The Zephyrian Council chambers fell silent as the holographic display materialized before them, casting an eerie blue glow across the assembled alien dignitaries. High Chancellor Vexther, S4 eyes narrowed as he studied the data streaming in from their cloaked observation probes orbiting the third planet of this unremarkable star system. "This cannot be accurate," whispered Ambassador Kreleneth, her tentacles writhing in distress. "The humans were supposed to fragment. Our models predicted complete societal collapse within 72 of their hours after the initial strike." The massive viewing screen displayed Earth in real time, its surface scarred by the recent bombardment of 3 major population centers. But instead of the expected chaos, the aliens watched in growing unease as something unprecedented unfolded. Military forces from every nation were converging, not in retreat, but in perfect coordination. Dr. Zimrak, the coalition's xenobiologist, manipulated the controls with his 6-fingered hands, zooming in on the planet's surface. Observe their communication networks. Instead of breaking down, they've somehow integrated every defense system, every military installation, every orbital platform into a single command structure. In less than 48 hours, Chancellor Vexter's voice carried the weight of centuries, yet trembled with uncertainty. "That's impossible. Their species was perpetually at war with itself. Our intelligence showed them incapable of such unity." The display shifted to show massive factories across Earth's continents retooling at impossible speeds. Civilian manufacturing plants were producing military hardware around the clock. Spacecraft that had been used for peaceful exploration were being hastily armed with weapons that made the alien observers recoil. "Look at their orbital defenses." Dr. Zimrock pointed to the screen with a trembling appendage. "Those railgun platforms. They're not just defensive. They're positioning them for offensive strikes." Ambassador Kreleneth's voice barely registered above a whisper. "We may have made a grave miscalculation." The scene on the display changed to show human soldiers moving through destroyed cities, but not in panic or despair. Their movements were precise, calculated. Every gesture spoke of a species that had transformed overnight, from chaos into something far more terrifying. Absolute purpose. "They are not supposed to be this dangerous," Dr. Zimrak muttered, his research dissolving into ash before his eyes. "According to every psychological profile, every behavioral model, they should be in complete disarray." A communications officer, his carapace glistening with nervous perspiration, approached the council. "High Chancellor, we're receiving reports from our forward fleets near the 4th planet. The humans, they're coming." The display shifted to show the approach to Jupiter, where the alien invasion force had established their staging ground on the moon. Io. What they saw defied every military doctrine in the galaxy. The human fleet emerged from the shadows of Europa like predators stalking prey. Their ships were brutal in design, angular, heavily armored, bristling with weapons that seemed designed more for ramming than elegant warfare. Against the sleek, graceful curves of the alien vessels, the human fleet looked like a pack of mechanical wolves. "Their formation is all wrong," General Vexmore observed, his warrior's instincts screaming warnings. "No species charges directly into superior firepower. Where is their tactical finesse?" The answer came swiftly and brutally. The lead human vessel, a massive dreadnought, took direct hits from 3 alien plasma cannons. Instead of retreating, it accelerated. Instead of evasive maneuvers, it aimed directly for the alien flagship. "What are they doing?" Chancellor Vexter leaned forward, his ancient frame rigid with disbelief. The human ship's hull cracked and burned, atmosphere venting into space. Yet it continued its suicidal charge. At the last moment before impact, the alien sensors detected a massive energy spike from within the dying vessel. Fusion detonation. "They're going too." The explosion consumed both ships in a brilliant flash that temporarily blinded the observation sensors. When the light faded, the alien flagship pride of the Zephyrian fleet was gone. Along with the human dreadnought and its crew of 3,000, they used their own ship as a weapon. General Vexmore's voice carried a note of something the aliens rarely experienced: fear. They sacrificed 3,000 of their own without hesitation. The battle for Io intensified as human landing craft descended like meteors through the thin atmosphere. But these weren't the careful, methodical landings the aliens expected. The humans came down hard and fast, their craft designed to punch through defensive fire, rather than avoid it. On the surface, alien defenders found themselves facing an enemy unlike anything in their extensive military databases. Human Marines, empowered exoskeletons, moved with terrifying coordination, supporting each other with a fluidity that spoke of countless conflicts resolved through violence. "Observe their weapons." Dr. Zimrak's scientific detachment was cracking. Kinetic projectiles, chemical explosives, thermal weapons. Primitive by our standards, yet devastatingly effective. A human soldier appeared on screen, his armor scarred by plasma fire, yet he continued advancing. In his hands, he carried what the aliens recognized as a flame projector, a weapon banned by every civilized species for its cruelty. The human used it without hesitation. Their brutality isn't chaos, General Dexmore realized with growing horror. It's precision-born madness. Every action is calculated for maximum psychological and physical damage. The alien defensive lines crumbled, not through superior technology, but through sheer, implacable will. Human soldiers, who should have been dead, continued fighting. Units that should have broken under fire, instead adapted and overcame. They disregard survival protocol. An alien field commander's voice crackled through the communications array. They fight like death is a tool, not a consequence. Above the battle, human orbital drops began. Not the careful deployment of elite forces, but waves of soldiers, in atmospheric entry pods, willing to risk death just to reach the surface faster. Chancellor Vexler watched in stunned silence as his invasion force, the same force that had conquered 17 worlds, fell apart under the human assault. Not through technological superiority, but through something far more frightening. Absolute, unified determination. High Chancellor, his communications officer approached with obvious reluctance. All units are reporting the same phenomenon. The humans, they're not fighting for survival. They're fighting for vengeance. The word hung in the air like a curse. Vengeance. It was a concept most civilized species had evolved beyond. Yet the humans wielded it like a weapon more powerful than any plasma cannon. Within 18 hours, the alien presence on Io was eliminated. Not defeated, eliminated. The humans had left no survivors, taken no prisoners. They had come not to conquer, but to erase. Order immediate withdrawal. Chancellor Vexler commanded, his voice hollow with defeat. All fleets, all forward positions. Retreat to beyond their solar system's boundary. Sir, General Vexmore hesitated. Shouldn't we regroup? Plan a counterattack? You still don't understand, the Chancellor replied, his ancient eyes fixed on the tactical display. We didn't lose a battle. We awakened something that should have remained sleeping. As the alien fleets began their retreat, a single transmission reached them from Earth. Not a demand for surrender, not a negotiation, just 8 words in clear, simple language that every species in the galaxy would come to know. This was a warning. Leave Earth alone. In the days that followed, alien refugees limped back to their home worlds, with tales that would become legend. They spoke of a species that could unite in the face of extinction, that could turn their greatest weakness, their propensity for violence, into their greatest strength. Dr. Zimrak spent sleepless cycles reviewing the data, trying to understand what they had witnessed. We studied their history, he reported to the emergency session of the Galactic Council. Endless wars, constant conflict, brother fighting brother for millennia. We thought this made them weak. What did we miss? Demanded Councillor Prindle from the Arcturus Collective. We saw their conflicts but missed their capacity. Dr. Zimrak replied, his voice heavy with newfound respect and terror. Every war taught them something. Every battle made them stronger. We didn't invade a divided species. We gave a warrior race a reason to unite. The final reports painted a picture that would haunt alien nightmares for generations. Earth's reconstruction had begun immediately after the invasion, but it wasn't the rebuilding of a broken civilization. It was the evolution of something new, a species that had learned to channel its violent nature into perfect, terrifying efficiency. Children who had witnessed the bombardment were learning tactics alongside mathematics. Engineers were designing new weapons while rebuilding cities. The humans weren't just healing from the invasion. They were preparing for the next one. In the outer observation posts, young aliens on their first assignments would sometimes catch glimpses of Earth's transmissions. Training exercises that looked like preparation for total war. Ships being built not for exploration, but for conquest. A species that had tasted unity through violence and found it to their liking. We didn't awaken monsters, one historian would later write in the classified archives. We awakened their purpose. The galaxy would never again underestimate the small blue planet orbiting an ordinary star. They had learned, at terrible cost, that some species are shaped by peace, while others are forged in the fires of endless conflict. And humanity had been burning for a very long time.